Hello and welcome to another Health Essentials podcast. I'm John Horton, your host. Your kidneys serve as your body's natural cleanup crew by filtering and removing waste products from your system. But as good as they are at their job, is it possible they might need a little help to keep themselves tidy and operating at peak efficiency? Kind of a kidney detox. That's what we're going to talk about today with nephrologist Juan Calle. He is one of the many experts at Cleveland Clinic who pop into our weekly podcast to help us better understand our bodies and how they work. So with that in mind, let's see whether a kidney cleanse should be on your to-do list. Welcome back to the podcast, Dr. Calle. It's always nice to see a familiar face.
No, thank you so much for having me back. I'm shocked that you're actually calling me back. So we'll go ahead and have a little bit of fun like we did the last time.
Hey, the last one was so good, we had to bring you back in.
Okay, thanks.
We're here today to kind of talk about kidney cleanses. And, with the wellness industry booming, kidney detoxes have just really gained in popularity in recent years. It seems like folks just keep searching for different ways to try to boost their health. But when it comes to a kidney cleanse, Dr. Calle, I mean, is that a legit quick fix thing to do?
So honestly, I don't want to finish the podcast right away because otherwise it would be kind of boring. But in reality, the short answer is that there's really no medical evidence to support that. And it's a hot topic, like you said. I mean, we do encounter in our clinics very frequently, especially in what I do. I work a little bit more with kidney stones and people actually, and kidney disease, obviously, in general, but people try to follow that. And again, there is really no good medical evidence or science that backs that up. Some of the cleanses, and I am already air quotating or doing air quotes here, they may actually be deleterious a little bit from the kidney standpoint. So one has to be very careful in what you read or see out there. I, for the most part, have like this philosophy that again I talk to my patients and families and even my residents and fellows and students. There's not an easy fix to anything in life, and almost everything is a process and it takes time. So the whole idea of just taking something magical that is going to fix everything at once, it's probably a little bit difficult. I think it's in combination with a bunch of different things.
Right. Well, and they throw so many claims out there, and I wrote down some of them. They when they talk about these cleanses, they say, obviously it can maybe improve kidney function and nutrient absorption, can remove built-up toxins, reduce your risk of kidney stones and bladder problems and infections, correct hormonal imbalances, and even my favorite, prevent skin breakouts. I mean, it seems like these cleanses are just, like you said, they're billed as being almost magical and they can do all this great stuff. It sounds like if they're promising that much, you should probably look at it a little skeptically.
I do think so. I agree with you on that part. Again, I mean, when they are offering you a lot from one single product, it's either because it's extremely good, magical, and all of us should be using it, or because in reality, it probably doesn't work in that way. Like everything in life, and especially when I see patients and every single patient is a single case, it's completely different. I cannot apply absolutely all of what I have learned to every single patient. I have to tailor a little bit the way that I talk, the way that I interact, and the same way with things like this, that they may just work a little bit different for every single individual. But in general, the evidence is just not there.
Yes, stay away from them. So what kind of damage might happen if you do one of these aggressive kidney detoxes? I mean, is there that much harm you can do?
So usually, and for the most part, again, I mean, for the general population, for people who are healthy, who don't have any major issues, your body should be able to handle extras from time to time. I mean, we've all seen it. If you go in a long trip and you actually are vacationing, you see the changes that your body goes through because you may overdo it in a way or another one. When you don't drink enough, you feel it, and you may actually, I'm gonna put it very blunt, you see the difference in your urine, in the pee. I mean, when you pee, you see how different it looks. So your body should be able to handle a little bit of extra here and there. The problem is when that becomes kind of the norm. And some of those cleanses and juicing and things like that, even though they may have a lot of components, some of them may be actually very healthy at the beginning. But if you're putting a lot of that at the same time, you may actually be overloading your system with certain metabolites or byproducts that may end up affecting different systems, but especially the kidneys in this particular reason, or what we're talking about.
What kind of things do you see people do that could be harmful? And I know there's not just one, kidney detox that's thrown out there, but what sort of programs do people jump on to try to get these magical results?
So sometimes, I mean, between that cleansing part is that they really dehydrate themselves, and they go through very long periods of fasting. And then when they eat or drink something, um, they may overdo it with certain stuff that may be a little bit more strenuous or stressful for the kidneys. Some of those are usually kind of not medication, sorry, foods that are green leafy leaves, and people tend to combine them a lot, like beets. Beets is not necessarily green, but it goes into that category. Spinach, rhubarb, kale, and they mix them a lot, many times with vitamin C, and that can actually have an effect on something that is very specific, but it may end up affecting the kidneys, and there have been reports about it. And I have personally seen patients who have suffered through that.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of those then are kind of these diets or programs where they're just really pushing that you eat all of one thing and just kind of focus on and just putting in nothing but kale for a week or something, and your body's just not built to just handle that much of one thing at a time, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, I think that we had previously talked in the other podcast that I have also this philosophy of trying to be balanced, that any extreme, one way or the other one, it's most likely hurtful. And it goes to this as well. I mean, we all know that we cannot survive on just one or two single different foods. We require and we need many different things because the body requires a plethora, a bunch, huge amounts of different nutrients that we need to ingest. So when you go to only one, that's where the problem may be.
Well, and I know we talked on your last visit here too about just the prevalence of kind of kidney disease and how many people have compromised kidneys to begin with. So if you do one of these cleanses and really increase that stress and demands on it, you're just basically asking for trouble.
Yeah, you may, and especially when you start combining different things like the dehydration, these loads of just one single thing, um, and then you add medications, and if people are actually taking medications on the side, that sometimes may be prescribed, sometimes maybe just over the counter as well. That it's like you said is kind of really calling for trouble there.
So what's driving this whole push to kind of detox our kidneys? I mean, I know it's an important organ, but why are we seeing this big emphasis on it?
I think that you're asking a question that has many, many different answers, and it depends who you ask as well. But marketing, one thing, trying to make money out of many different things. But at the same time, we know that a lot more people are suffering from kidney disease. But I think that this is probably just part of one route. I mean, it's not the only one. You need to think of it as a whole, because if you're only focusing on this, you are forgetting other sides of your diet, healthy habits, exercise, avoiding ultra processed foods, trying to be on a healthy weight, not carrying a lot of extra pounds that I'm guilty of that myself.
We,
Of
we,
having a
we all
very
have a few
high,
of those extra pounds hanging around.
yeah, I mean, smoking, alcohol, all of these things do play a role. So again, it's not one single thing, and thinking of it like one single thing again, I think is a mistake. It's just a general holistic approach to the body and especially to the kidneys as well.
Yeah. Well, that's what it kind of sounds like. The idea of trying to live a healthy life for your kidneys is a good idea. It just, we get a little misguided when you think you can do something that targeted that's just going to instantly help the organs.
Yeah, I mean, you're asking me directly about the kidneys because that's my specialty and that's what I work with. But you can go online or you can go to the stores and you're pretty much going to find a cleanse for everything, for the liver, for the gut, for the heart. I mean, it's all out there. Some of them may actually be harmful, like I said before. The problem as well sometimes is that many of these supplements and or cleansing or herbs and things like that, they are not really monitored or scrutinized in a way that we always know what we're getting. And I think that that's, again, a very big problem that we have in these circumstances.
Well, obviously, the kidneys are very, very important to our bodies and just it functioning right. So while one of these cleanses, we'll throw those quote marks up like we did earlier, might not be a good idea. It sounds like there are ways to kind of just adjust your lifestyle to kind of be a little healthier for your kidneys. So it seems like that's more the way we should focus. So let's talk about just things we can do in our day-to-day life that can kind of improve or boost our kidney health.
Yeah, so having lifestyle modifications, which are very hard to do. Trust me, because I've been there and I tell my patients, I share my story with them and I tell them that I had a little bit of a wake up call, nothing big, thankfully, but my body was already telling me you need to make a little bit of changes here. And it's hard. It is a process. I tell my patients all the time that Rome wasn't built in one day. And this is a process. You go through it. You get ups and downs. You are disheartened many times, especially if you started in a place that wasn't good to begin with. So the general recommendation is just to have more of a healthy lifestyle with exercise, more fruits and vegetables, having the right amount of protein, whether it's plant-based or we talked in the previous podcast about animal-based protein as well, but in the right amounts as well. I don't think that is just going to an extreme in one or the other one.
Yeah. I always hear that hydrating is key to kind of keeping your kidneys functioning right and everything. How does that work?
So the hydration part changes depending on the season or where you live. I mean, obviously up north here where we are is completely different to back home in my country, back in Colombia, because we don't have seasons there. So it depends. You need to be more hydrated during the summer, for example, than right now during the winter. So that's one thing. Another different thing that you can actually do for yourself in the exercise, like we talked about. I mean, having more of a healthy style, trying to lose weight, trying to exercise, and just keep your body active. I think that we touched a little bit upon the medications. Some of the medications that are out there, even though they may be over the counter, that doesn't mean that they don't come with side effects.
You want to make sure you limit those, like the Advils and the ibuprofens, all that sort of stuff. Just cut it down because you're asking a lot for your kidneys to kind of process all that.
Yes, the kidneys, the gut. I mean, the gastrointestinal system as well takes a big hit on that. But for the kidneys, it's definitely one of the things that we all nephrologists or kidney medicine doctors, we all recommend that our patients stay away from those, because we know that those medications, again, even though they are over the counter, they can be very, very harmful for the kidney function, and especially in people who already have kidney disease or what we call chronic kidney disease.
When we talk about dietary things, and you had mentioned just kind of eating an overall healthy diet, fruits and vegetables, kind of, make sure you have some protein intake, but not too much or too little. Are there any foods that are just really, really good? I know you look online and you'll see things like apple cider vinegar, kidney beans, lemon juice, pomegranate, basil and dandelion. Are these just things that get tossed out there as kind of clickbait things, or are there certain foods that really kind of do a little more for your kidneys?
So they may do a little bit more, and I don't know if you noticed the trend that you had and the theme. Those are usually kind of vegetables or plants, first of all.
Or
But
weeds in the case of dandelions, I think. So
yes, well, yeah, but they're plants, kind of. I mean, they're still not moving around like any other
right.
animal as well. And I'm not a vegetarian. I'll tell you that with all the respect that I have for the vegetarians or vegans, but I couldn't be myself. No, I think that in general, some of them are okay. But once again, if you go way too much on one, then you're probably going to have issues with some other aspects. And I'll stop a little bit, or I'll make a little bit of emphasis on the lemon, for example, because it comes like very much on my area of expertise with kidney stones. We do recommend that people take a lot more lemon or limes because that helps in the prevention of kidney stones. And it may actually even help to keep the acid base balance in your system. But if you take too much of that, then you end up having issues with your teeth, with your gut, or your gastrointestinal lining as well. So then it becomes a little bit more problematic.
Yeah, moderation. That's always the word
Yeah,
that we throw out on this podcast.
yeah. I think that I'm very boring on that area, but I think that that has a lot to do, and I think that we have, going back to your question as to why people are selling more of these nowadays, is because I think that we have shifted a lot from this moderation, and we have gone into extremes in ways that our bodies have not completely gotten used to, and that's probably why we're seeing a lot of the issues that we're seeing nowadays in health.
Yeah. Is there a way we had talked about fasting a little bit earlier, and I know a lot of people kind of experiment with that, with their diet, and there's the intermittent fasting, and then there's where sometimes you'll go a full day or whatever. Can fasting be used effectively to kind of help and provide a little bit of a natural cleanse that isn't dangerous to your kidneys, or can it help with their overall health?
So I don't think, and again, I don't think that the evidence is out there to support us recommending that to our patients. Um, it depends on every single individual. I mean, I think that the whole concept of the intermittent fasting and or fasting in general, you are depleting your system from calories and from the nutrients for a period of time, but then you have to catch up a little bit more, and that's when people start kind of losing weight and stuff like that. In terms, and now losing weight, we do know that in a healthy way, losing weight, it's pretty much almost always beneficial because it depends how you're losing the weight. I mean, if you're losing the weight just because you're very sick, it's also not helpful. But the fasting per se, in and on itself, it probably doesn't have any major effects on the functioning of the kidneys. It's just that you may kind of manipulate a little bit more some of the results and some of the blood work that we get, but that doesn't, I don't think that that necessarily means that your kidneys are working better.
Yeah, yeah, and it sounds like if you're going to do the fasting, you need to do it in a responsible way to make sure you're not stressing your system.
Yes, it's a little bit of a stress, anyways, as well. But if you think about it once more, I mean, during the night when we're sleeping, whether you sleep 6 to 8, some people, if they're lucky, I'm not one of those anymore, they can sleep a little bit more. But on average, anyone who's sleeping more than 6 to 7 hours or so, you're actually fasting during that period of time. I mean, your body goes through that. But at the same time, during that period of time, your whole system is resting. So it's a little bit different. That's where I think is a little bit of the catch 22 with this. But you have to do it responsibly. I mean, I don't think that you can go ahead and try to reinvent the wheel in a way, just getting healthy with all of these things at once.
So we've been talking this whole time about kind of doing things for our kidneys, and that kind of leads to an obvious question, which is, do our kidneys really need a little extra TLC, in our life, or is it just a matter of kind of adopting a healthier lifestyle so that you're not stressing the kidneys out?
I keep mentioning my wife, and I'll bring her up again here. I keep telling her I do need a lot of TLC. I'm very needy. I do think that the kidneys do need a little bit of TLC as well, in the way of at least not harming them first. But second, I think that again, doing all of these little extras with the exercise, with watching your diet, not eating a lot of salt. If you have diabetes, controlling your diabetes or trying to prevent it as well. Losing weight and being very active, keeping yourself well hydrated when you know that you're kind of falling behind. I think that that's probably the TLC that we're talking about. Not harming them and giving them medications and putting more stressors. I think that that's just part of what I'm talking about in the TLC part.
Yeah. So if someone is drawn to kind of these specialty products billed as being a kidney detox, your advice to them would be?
Probably don't do it.
Don't do
or, or do it in a way that you're conscious and that you're watching what is happening, and that you have, I would say the TLC is probably us grabbing them by the hand and giving them a little bit of support. And I mean checking on labs or checking on your health, just making sure that any extreme that you're doing is not actually hurting you or being harmful to yourself.
All right. Well, that's great advice. I think if everyone's going to leave with something, it's don't do some radical kidney detox. Just live a little bit healthier. And hopefully that means nobody will have to schedule an appointment with you.
I hope so. Yeah. But if they see me out there, that's fine. We'll say hello.
All right. Well, Dr. Calle, I can't thank you enough for giving us a little bit of time today. And as always, you are just loaded with information. And thanks again for stopping by.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun again.
Given the importance of your kidneys, it's great to think about their health. But it's best to avoid quick fix detoxes or cleanses that promise big results. There's no solid evidence that these tactics work, and worst case scenario, they may even cause damage. So if you want to help your kidneys, make sure you're staying hydrated, eating a healthy diet, and exercising. That's all they really need from you. If you liked what you heard today, please hit the subscribe button and leave a comment to share your thoughts. Until next time, be well.